I'm Zach, and I am not the CEO of United Healthcare.
I'm Ben, and I have United Healthcare,
Be
which
careful.
I know I've had that for the last three jobs I've had, and I always was like, oh, it seems like a decent provider. Then I did some research on them, and I realized it's not the case.
You never got really
Apparently,
angry with the CEO, right?
no, no, they and then I was doing some research on it, and apparently they figured out a way to use AI to deny claims.
Man, AI is everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't need an AI fucking poop scooper.
It's funny being in like the corporate world because like every meeting AI is brought up by like the executive level, and it's just like, okay, but like, what do you want to do with it? And like, no one knows, no one has any ideas. It's just like, let's just use AI, or like, let's implement AI, or
Yeah, well, what if the AI AI'd? Yo, dog, I heard you like AI. So we put AI on your AI.
I mean, that's basically what I don't know.
That's what
At
every
least, it's,
fucking company's doing now.
yeah.
Now,
Before
when
it
you
was an
Google,
app.
like, what is a blueberry? Fucking Google comes back with, like, a blueberry is a crayon made by Crayola.
Hmm.
And you're
Yeah,
like,
some of it's getting really
uh-huh.
bad, and I don't know. And what's fucked too is like people don't realize that this shit takes up it has like huge water consumption and CO2 emissions from all the processing power.
Yeah, right. Every
So
time
it's
you ask Google's assistant some dumbass question that it gets wrong, fucking, you just lost fucking 3 glasses of drinking water, asshole.
I mean that's one of the reasons why I'm not super like pessimistic about it, just because it's going to reach a point where the novelty wears off, and then like you have to face the power demand challenges, and it's just not going to be worth it. I mean, right now, all this AI shit is subsidized because of, VC money and all this stuff. But like at a certain point, it's like, well, it's got to make money somehow.
Oh,
So,
oh, dude, I live in San Francisco. Fucking Jesus Christ. I was driving recently back over the Bay Bridge, and every fucking billboard. Do your company have AI? Find out how you can install AI. Is AI in your conversations? Fucking hey, man.
hmm, yeah, that Bay Area tech world is bizarre. It's a completely different environment. Um, I mean, my last two jobs were like in that environment, and there was a lot of Kool Aid too. And it's like I side with those types of people, but at the same time, like, I don't think those people realize they're also like kind of in a cult, and the way that they look down on other people and outside of the San Francisco area is kind of funny and sad. But
Yeah, a fucking cold brew shouldn't cost $12.
mhm.
That shouldn't. Let's normalize not that.
Yeah, and everything that's and there's just the kind of that generalization of like anything that's not in New York, LA, or San Francisco is just like hillbilly, like bumfuck uneducatedness, which is always like mentality I feel like those people have.
Right, as if they don't realize that agriculture is doing a lot of work for this state as well.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother issue, and I'm not. I've driven the 5 the whole way down from San Francisco to, to LA. You appreciate all of it. The part that smells like cow shit, then the trafficy parts and the pretty parts and all of it. Well, because here's the deal, right? You have to because it's California.
Yeah, I mean it's way well, and that's the thing too. And like when what like when Midwesterners complain about Californians, and it's always like, oh, there's all these Californians. It's like, well, the state's like 10% of the population, so
Yeah.
I don't know if you're expecting like a evenly distributed amount of transplants from all their 48 states or 49 states in your state, but the numbers are going to say that you're going to see more Californians than any other state.
How come there's nobody from Montana here?
And all
That's the
those
other thing. Is like California is such a transient place.
well that's it too. It's like a lot of times when you see like if you see a plate from California, chances are that person lived in that state for like less than 2 or 3 years. In fact, they're probably originally from the state you're currently standing in. They moved there and then moved back, and you're just seeing their plate.
Yeah, only potential exceptions are like Nevada, Arizona.
Yeah, that's another weird one where like you always see, well, in like Florida plates, you see Florida plates everywhere. That one was always weird to me. And I think they actually, it must be some reason they have like very loose vehicle registration or something.
Yeah, well, I
Um,
mean, like in Arizona, the licenses are good for like 60 years. So it's probably
yeah,
something like that where like the plates are good for, 40 years or whatever,
yeah, yeah.
You get it now, it's like it expires in 2067. Like, oh, all
But
right.
yeah, like, yeah, but yeah, like when we, I don't know, like I'll just be in like the most random ass place, like going back up to visit, a family in Wisconsin, or I don't know, like out hiking or whatever, and you're like you pass through a small town of whatever 400 people, and you get lost, and you have to like turn on like a back highway and to get find yourself to get back on the freeway or whatever, and then it's like, oh, there's a Florida plate in that house. What? Like why? It's just, and then like you get on the freeway and then you pass another Florida plate. And then you're at the gas station when you get off and there's another Florida plate. It's like, where are you guys coming from?
I don't know if I've encountered that the way you're describing.
I've, yeah, I mean, it is possible it's just rental cars too. Like kind of the Arizona thing. Like there's just like a shit ton of rental cars from those states. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
that could be. Yeah. Well, welcome back to Your Favorite Coaster Sucks. We are obviously an all roller coaster podcast, but we will occasionally delve into the world of license plates
All 50 states united on this show.
under our wonderful president. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to.
In Canada too.
Well, 51 states, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We welcome our new northern state. Okay,
Well,
then. Well, I mean, what can I say?
about Hollywood Nights.
Yeah, except I didn't get a code.
Yeah. This is the second year I didn't try either. Like I remember putting it on the calendar and then the time passed and I was like, oh fuck, I missed it. Um
I tried, didn't get it. Then I shortly thereafter found out that not a single one of the people that I know who regularly attended that event would be going this year
mhm.
purposefully. So I felt a lot less bad then.
Yeah, I mean it was like cute when they did it the first year or two, but like I mean there's clearly demand. I don't know. And also what they're doing with reservations. If like you get a code to buy the ticket, but if you don't buy the ticket, they don't open up the reservation. Um
No, and they're like, here, buy a ticket to come that same day.
mhm.
which like I get it, I guess, but at the same time, it's like it read as slightly insulting.
Yeah. I also wonder too if I wonder what the chances of like if you went to the park that day and then you were just super nice and you were just like, hey, like I know this is kind of weird, but like I bought a ticket to this event or I bought a ticket to the park and like all my friends are at this event. Like I've been going, just make up something like a sob story. If they're just like, here you go, just take it.
Maybe, but I feel like I don't know. I would prioritize a trip back there if I could get into the event.
Yeah,
But right now, I'm like, that's a long way to come from California for not the
yeah,
event.
yeah. I mean, it's too bad that I mean, I don't know. Also, well, there's also some drama with people apparently like using bots to buy tickets and um, YouTubers saying they got extra codes to give out or something.
Like none of that's really surprising, but at least if that's the case, then allow resale, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if it's time. I mean, like they could do two events, like do I don't know, change it into like a 3-day weekend where you have like Friday and Saturday morning, and then you have Saturday night and Sunday morning or something, and just do two shifts. I don't know.
Or maybe do 2 weekends,
Yeah.
like a weekend one and a weekend two, the way
Yeah,
like
there's options.
fucking Coachella does.
Yeah.
They got that much demand and they want to, throttle the amount of rides or like riders to keep the wait time low, and I guess that's fine. But if there's still all that demand, then yeah, do 2 weekends.
I wonder if there's a way to like spot, like spam email Holiday World. Just like get like 50 people to write 10 emails each and just sporadically send them throughout the next couple months. Just like sob stories like, oh, I've got terminal cancer and this is my last possible year to go. And just like make shit up like that. Um, you know, I don't know. My wife
My
and I
make a
met at,
wish is to go to Hollywood Nights.
yeah. And then you could be like, whoa, Holiday World, they don't even let in a make a wish into the event. Like, what the fuck is their problem? Like, is an Acer getting on one train sooner on Legend like that big of a deal? You just make up like a bunch of slander stories and make it so it's like the reverse of the headache they got and the backlash they got from 2011 or 2021. So that way they start, opening it back up. That's what people got to do. You got to push back. If anyone wants to get in on this, let me know.
It's gonna be easier than ever with AI.
I mean, ChatGPT might be able to write a couple letters,
I'm sure it would.
and then there's got to be a way to get fake emails, right? Or like, um,
AI, go register a shitload of emails. Send a bunch to this address with different sad stories about why you want to attend this event. Finally, a good use for wasting all that water.
yeah. Well, I think everyone who listens to this show should send one sad email to Hollywood or Holiday World, and
Especially if you actually got tickets.
yeah, especially.
Say, oh, my friends.
I mean,
Oh, man.
there's so many options too. You could do like, oh, my wife and I, we met at Holiday World, and we were
Uh,
at we met at Starkraven Mad 2002, and we've been married, and unfortunately, she passed away, and I was really hoping that I was going to be able to take my kids this year, and since they're old enough, and um, they got tickets and I didn't. Now I'm in a weird, awkward position.
Can I at least hang out and not go on the rides?
Yeah, that actually, huh? Okay, there's ways to, and then you got to do the Facebook thing. You got to figure out a way to do the fake Make a Wish. Any charity you can think of, like and then just like use all the hashtags and like publicly, post on like go on X. Um,
X.
let's have some fun.
Yeah, it's Troll Campaign 2024.
Hmm. I mean, because it's time they do something else. I mean, like, I don't know
You know what's
what.
funny and unfortunate is that because of that, Kentucky Kingdom had to completely pivot and stop doing that event.
So, oh, they don't do it anymore.
No.
I mean, I get it. It's like a completely toxic fan base group of people.
Well, no, I think they don't do it because, like, it's not enough people going to Hollywood Nights to make it worthwhile.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
like when
And
Hollywood
then,
Nights
do you
is
know?
a shitload of people, it's easier to get them to go to Kentucky Kingdom a day later, right? But
Yeah. Oh shit.
yeah, so
Man, what are they doing? They're like collapsing a whole ecosystem of fun. Like, is the backlash of long lines, was it that problematic to deal with? Like, I don't know. Like maybe they're getting death threats because someone had to wait 10 minutes for Legend, but I I don't know. It just seems weird and like it kind of rubs me the wrong way. I'd love to go back to that park. Granted, I didn't even try to get tickets, so like whatever. But
I mean, yeah, I'll try maybe again next year, but at this point, it seems like, nah.
I mean, it'll if like let's say like theoretically I got tickets next year, that'd be 5 years of not going, like half a decade of not going because of this, and it's just I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, if we can't get them next year, yeah, it's 5 years. Plus, it's
So we
also
need
hard to be like, oh, big meetup when it's so difficult to get tickets,
yeah.
which is a good transition, I think. Because speaking of big meetup, haha, we got an announcement.
Hell yeah.
Fucking A, yeah. So, big meetup, Southern California, Magic Mountain, and Knott's Berry Farm. Let me hit you all with the dates. That's going to be February 28th through March 3rd. That's our initial plan. As we were talking about before we started recording, we're kind of thinking Friday night and Saturday at Magic Mountain, or like Friday and Saturday, Friday night, whatever, at Magic Mountain, and Sunday at Knott's. And we will likely, depending on who is interested in joining and logistics of everything, plan a Disneyland and DCA day before or after.
Yeah, I think I don't know, maybe give it a couple make a decision around Christmas time maybe. I
Yeah,
probably and then see interest and keep it more personal, like just reach out if you're interested and then I don't know. That time of year is I feel like is pretty flexible for people. Keep it
that's
chill, fun.
that's what I'm hoping. If you want to join, we would love for you to join on our Discord, We'll be chatting about it there. I know there's definitely a few members there who will likely give the thumbs up and want to be in regardless. So again, real quick, those dates that we are looking at, that's going to be the weekend of February 28th through March 3rd. And we'll give some more specifics as we kind of plan it out. But yeah, Magic Mountain Knott's. And for anyone who's interested, we'll be adding on Disneyland and DCA.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's good to break up winter. Um, without much going on. And
Definitely. And what, we're about 3 months out from right now. Kind of that's going to be, yeah, good shaking off the freeze from winter, kind of honoring the old winter coaster solace they used to do at Knott's.
oh, so that's also not a thing.
They don't do that anymore.
Oh shit,
I'm
man!
glad we got
Enthusiasts
to
ruin
go at least
everything.
that one time.
Yeah, I wonder what the deal with that one was.
I think for the most part TPR took it over, but then once they relocated most of their ops to Orlando, then they didn't do it anymore, like with West Coast Bash and all that.
Oh, okay.
That guy, and that guy. But yeah, no more Winter Coaster Solace, unfortunately. But Knott's is still a dope park. I like it.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those two where just knowing the horror stories, I'd probably just get a fast lane just for Ghost Rider. And I heard even with fast lane, you still wait like 45 minutes for Ghost Rider.
Definitely possible. Um, Last time I was out there at Knott's, I encountered a listener who was a ride operator. That was awesome. So, hopefully they'll be able to attend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
Um, what this will be our second West Coast meetup. So round out your credits if you were at the first one.
yep. And Magic Mountain is a very laid back park where you can get away with certain things more easily than others. So I'm looking forward to that. It's always fun.
Yeah. Um, I also like that there's like hotels very close by.
Hmm.
So again, if you're interested, join up on our Discord. That is totally free to join. We will be doing all of our planning on there as to like hotels and dates and logistics. So join up and plan to come meet us in the wild, wild west to ride some rolly rides and other stuff in late February, early March. And I'll say it's great timing because it's before spring break for any of the locales around here.
Yeah. I did um I did Magic Mountain during spring break once and it wasn't too bad, but then I've also seen photos of people who went and it's like insane.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's, it's just a more crowded time in general.
yeah.
Now, we were also discussing the possibility, and again, not a firm commitment yet, but definitely potential for roller coaster rodeo at Six Flags Fiesta Texas.
Yeah, I mean that looks like a fun event. From the photos I saw last year, it looked pretty cool. Not one of those like definitely doesn't seem like a park where you're going to get like walk on ERT sessions, but it seems like it pulls a good crowd.
It looks like a fun event, and yeah, it seems like that's gonna be the new Hollywood Nights at least this year or this coming year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. There's now with Hollywood Nights kind of dying as an event. There's space for a new one to open.
And it's not surprising that Jeff Siebert's right there.
Yeah, right.
Because, yeah, good
Cool.
park sponsored events always necessary. I suppose we could do, like, Coaster Mania, but I think that has the same problems.
Yeah, I think that one had the same. I mean, I feel like that one was a problem even back in like pre 2010. I remember working there during Coaster Mania, and all the ERT sessions had like crazy lines. So yeah,
I
I kind of
mean,
feel like that one's done too. I don't know if I'd ever want to go to it.
I remember having a great time in '05 and '06 at Coaster Mania, but, we're talking almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
So it's definitely possible things have changed severely in that time, right? So,
Well, someone was saying too during one of the ERT events they did last year, where like Steel Vengeance had a 2 hour line or
that's insane.
something ridiculous like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nah, hard pass. Oh, and you know what I will say about our Magic Mountain Knots meetup as well is, the one of the best things about it is if you are a pass holder currently for Cedar Fair or Six Flags, you'll have the option to do that um, all park add on. So if you do that, the admission for both parks will be completely free.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yep, because that'll be after that takes effect.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that all starts in January. So, if you're a current Six Flags or Cedar Fair pass holder for any of the parks and you do that add on, come to the meetup and all your admissions are all set. You don't have to worry about any of that.
Good idea.
Yeah. So, and yeah, roller coaster rodeo is definitely a possibility. I mean, beginning of June, hot ass time to go to Texas, I think, but you know, seems like a fun event.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that one on the calendar. It's gonna be hot as fuck, but at least it's a dry heat. At least I think it is. Should be.
Other stuff that I think I have on the calendar for this year is potentially Destination D23 at the end of August down at Disney's Coronado Springs at the Walt Disney World Resort.
So what's the 23 in a reference to?
1923 when the Walt Disney Company, Walt Disney Studios started.
Oh, okay. I always thought it was like a thing to the year, like the number of the event. But then I was like, I feel like I hear D23 now for like a couple years, so it can't be that.
Yeah, no, it's a reference to the year that Disney started.
Oh, which
It's a
means they had 100th
Yep,
anniversary.
last year.
Huh.
If I'm not mistaken, the Disney 100 exhibit is still touring. Um, we were lucky enough to catch it in Chicago. It was awesome. I really liked it.
I'm sure I've
It's
heard about the 100th year of Disney like an infinite amount of times, but it did not register in my brain until just now.
Oh, and I guess I should say too about our meetup since we're delving into this too is if you're on the fence about Disneyland, it's worth going to because whatever park you go to likely only exists in potentially at all, but possibly in the form it's in because of Disneyland.
Yeah.
And it's worth seeing the park that really started what the idea of theme parks are.
I mean, it's a nice Disney park because you don't have to deal with the hassle of Orlando bullshit and like four parks and I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Disneyland is also slightly less of the like Disney moms and Disney families and
Mm,
like,
I think it's more Disney people, to be honest with you, because I see a
yeah,
lot of people there wearing like Walt Disney World stuff, where it's like, oh, I've been to that park too.
right.
Like, oh, okay, cool. Um, but it's like it's California people, so it's different than this mixed bag of like, yeah, there's local Disney Florida people, but then there's people from all over the world in Orlando.
Hmm. Yeah, people's brains are just fucked because it's like in Orlando because people have that vacation mindset. It's like Sandusky. People just lose their mind when they're on family vacation, just like that movie about something that has to do with vacation.
I think it was
But
called The Family That Drove Really Far to a Closed Theme Park.
that sounds right.
It's this
But that's
movie
true.
about a family that takes a vacation, but every time they have to do something on their vacation, something makes the vacation go wrong.
I mean,
Um but yeah,
yeah,
no, I think that does happen with Disneyland too, but it's just a totally different vibe
mhm. Yeah, I
cuz
mean, like people, it's like Disney. I don't, I mean, I know there are people who go to Disneyland for Disneyland, but it's not the same. Like I don't know, Orlando is just a totally different pull. It's, um, like if you talk to like an annoying suburban family from Ohio, right, going to a Disney park, it's going to be Disney World. And then every once in a while you'll get that. Like it was kind of like, I always remember in elementary school when like the kids would brag about their Disney trips, right? And it was always mostly Disney World, and then every once in a while there was like that you could tell like kind of like that kid from like the pretentious family that was like, well, we go to Disneyland.
I mean, they market them specifically like the Rockies, I think is the point. So if you're west of the Rockies, they'll market you
Hmm.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
But if you're east of the Rockies, you're only getting Disney World. But I think even west of the Rockies, you'll still get Disney World. But
Hmm.
east of the Rockies, you're never getting Disneyland marketing at all.
Yeah. I mean, everyone. I guess now that I think about it, whenever I see a YouTube Disney commercial, it's for Disneyland. But I guess that's
Makes
like
sense.
technically,
You're pretty much in the area where you're closer, yeah.
yeah.
Probably closer for you to hop on a plane to LAX than MCO.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that's the point at which they split it. But it's also weird because like Disneyland has this like built-in audience always of locals and stuff, whereas Disney World like constantly has to. They have a lot more like direct competition weirdly
Yeah.
because even though Knott's is like right there and Magic Mountain's nearby, Universal, all SeaWorld, like Knott's is not direct competition for Disney really
Yeah.
because they're just a different. It's like the people who go to Disney would probably also go to Knott's, but there's a lot of people that would just go to Knott's because Disney costs a shitload.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Yeah. I
again,
mean,
if you
yeah.
haven't been to Disneyland, absolutely worth it.
Oh shit. Also, as you mentioned, SeaWorld, I think I'm missing like 3 credits there now.
I don't have any of the credits there, but that one also costs a ton, and San Diego's kind of far, but but we can figure out a way if y'all want to add that shit on.
Yeah, maybe I have to look at the SeaWorld schedule because yeah, that's like a whole new. I mean, that'd be like a whole new
Yeah, because they
SeaWorld.
got
See.
the Sky Tower, Sky Scream, Sky Thingy 2, Sky Rocket 2.
Yeah.
They got the Dive Coaster Emperor. They got Manta. I think they still have their Journey to Atlantis.
Also, they're on daily operation, so
I mean,
maybe
yeah,
I'll
we'll
maybe.
see about that.
I mean, maybe that's one of those things where I just fly home from San Diego or something, and add it on, or plan at a time or something.
Yeah. Well,
SeaWorld. Let's see how many credits they have. They got Arctic Rescue, Electric Eel, Emperor, and Manta. Oh, they do not have Journey to Atlantis.
oh, they got rid of it. Bummer.
Manta's Manta's a mock.
Manta looks interesting.
Oh shit, well if it's a mock, yeah, I guess I gotta go ride it now.
Well, like I said before, if you're interested in joining for Southern California, helping us plan what the itinerary might be, what parks we hit, um, join our Discord. The link will be in the episode description. We'll be discussing it all there, and we'll have everything posted about it there. We'll also have some discussion about the potential roller coaster rodeo meetup there. Now, one thing I know we can't do if we have a San Antonio meetup, sadly, is go to fucking ZDTs and ride Switchback. I don't think.
Oh yeah, did they close this? No.
I think so. I don't know. Let's check RCDB because it might still be open, but I don't know if that'll still be in effect in June. It still says operating on RCDB. Maybe their website has some information about when they're closing. So they have hours posted until June. So through May basically.
Okay.
So possibly we could get on Switchback again. We'll see.
I wonder if that's purely just. I mean, I can't imagine that place gets that many riders or like visitors or.
Yeah, like when we were there, we walked right on.
hmm I mean, it's the same experience I've always had at all the fun spots where it's like you see the ride run, but it's there's like no one in the station.
That's what I'm saying. Although that was definitely a cool ride. It'd be cool to get back on it before it closes.
Yeah. So I just saw a photo of Emperor, and it's weird how there's no shade in the station.
Yeah,
It's
that's one of
just
those
like,
things I heard. That's really terrible.
yeah, it looks pretty good though. Like for all the I always forget about this as a dive coaster. It actually kind of looks the closest to how Wrath of Rakshasa will look, like how it'll ride probably.
The construction just went vertical on that. They got the first piece installed. I saw.
Yeah, I saw that. It's
That's
pretty
pretty
cool,
exciting. I'm hoping it's open next time I visit Great America.
and hopefully it doesn't have a rattle.
I'm more concerned about it actually being open on the schedule that they are constructing it on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because it's B&M, it might be okay, but also I can't remember the last time a Great America attraction opened with the park.
On its advertised day, even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think the last time I remember it actually happening was Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, because they said that one was like Labor or Memorial Day weekend or something. I know, yeah, or it was like right after opening day.
Yeah, I remember we had to wait several hours for it to open on that day.
hmm
but it was open that day. And big shouts to our buddy John Revelle, who's got a fantastic video documenting that whole thing. Crazy to think that was like, what, 16 years ago? Fuck, I'm old.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope they open it on time. Wouldn't count on it. Um,
I
I'm
mean,
not.
I could see a Memorial Day opening. I don't think it'll be opening day, but I could see Memorial Day.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for because I think that's when we're aiming to maybe go to Chicago again.
Yeah. And I'm also like that's one of those too where now that I've been there, I wouldn't mind I probably that'd probably just be like a stop in. Like fly into Chicago, visit family, just pop into the park quick.
Yeah, probably do one lap, get a couple rides like Viper, Bull, obviously Rock Shalka,
I'm kind of afraid though
or
it's gonna be
Goliath. I don't know.
I hope it's not one of those one and dones. Um just with like how, you know, how discomfort a bowl B and M's tend to be now for me.
Well, I mean, the Great American ones have always been pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. I think the last one, I mean, I already talked about it, but yeah, the last one that did that for me was Dominator, where it was just like I was like so disappointed by it. I was like, I remember this ride being so good, but
I haven't been on that one since it was at Geauga Lake. Got to get back to Virginia.
and I-305, I'm worried that now I don't. I mean, it probably isn't going to be like next year, but I'm worried about I-305 now. For some reason, just with the way that the chain is going now, like for some reason I almost think that I-305 could be short faded. That's just a hunch. I don't know. I know it's not problematic. It doesn't have a launch. It's actually pretty, probably very well. I wouldn't say it's minimal to operate. I'm sure it's pretty expensive with wheels and stuff, but I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that like that ride is not going to be around very long, like maybe 5 years, but I don't know.
We'll see. It'll be 15 this season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely, I would put that at a very high priority for you because riding it this past year, I'm like, I don't know. I guess like obviously as you get older, you ride everything. You kind of like, I don't know. I wouldn't say like necessarily desensitized, but we're definitely past that era of like crazy 2000s. Um, like I don't know how to describe it. I guess like that era of like questionable oh fuck coasters, I think are coming to an end now, especially with like King Ka and Dragster, and then I'm guessing X2 might be also on that list.
I
And
would guess Superman before X2.
oh, for sure, yeah. I guess I'm thinking kind of like less than 5 year, like a 5 year span. Anything that's problematic, like X2, maybe in rides like Magnum. Um, I don't know. Like I say, I threw a five. For some reason, I just could see them getting rid of those, and it's clear the park doesn't give a shit. They're just gonna rip it out and not warn anybody. So I'd prioritize I through a five at some point.
Well, I don't know if I can do anything about that next year in 2025. But I don't know. We'll have to see, right?
Yeah, I mean, um, the more I think about it, it just seems like doesn't it seem like parks, like every park's coaster collection is suddenly like aging? Like, did we really go through that long of a spell of no additions or like a lack of additions, or were there so many coasters built in such a short amount of time that it feels that way? I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, think about everything after 2008, especially up to like 2015.
Yeah.
Like that was the height of like one big coaster every year basically.
Right.
And like when RMC started converting old wooden coasters too during that same time period. And so like now I know it's crazy to think about, but all that shit's over 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, what have we really seen in terms of major expansions and additions? Very little.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right, man, cuz like a lot of this stuff was built when we were younger, and it's kind of just been like a course of maintaining.
Yeah, and like obviously, okay, so here's a good example, right? Like everyone's always like, "Oh shit, like 2020 was, 4 years ago," and or like 2019 is 5 years ago, whatever. And time's going quicker, and I don't think I don't know, like when we were, whatever. When you're younger, like years go by slower. So like a park not getting anything for a year or two felt like forever, and now I mean, Great America went what, 5 years without a coaster, half a decade.
6,
Was it Max Force was what, 2018?
19,
Oh, okay.
and Rakshasa is opening next year, so 6 years, which is the longest spell in that park's history
Yeah.
without a
Damn.
coaster. Yeah, right? Cuz in that same time, right? Great Adventure got um Jersey Devil, Magic Mountain got Wonder Woman. Technically, if you really wanted to count West Coast Racers cuz it opened at the end of 2019, but I wouldn't really count that.
Yeah.
But that pair of RMC single rails went to those two parks in that same period of time where Great America was getting goddamn nothing except for Holiday in the Park taken away.
Hmm. I mean, maybe like they made that all those announcements about like big investments going into every park. I mean, it's possible that things turn around. I don't know. We'll see. But it's almost like they've dug themselves into a hole where if like you're trying to maintain your coaster collection, like at a certain point you got to start like, all right, well that B&M floorless coaster is 20 plus years old now, so what do we do? Do we get rid of? Do you rebuild it? Like I don't know. Also, what's funny too is like the way that B&M builds their coasters and waves. Or I guess it's not really B&M; it's the chains. But like, I mean, are we ever really going to see like a new sit down or a new floorless B&M? Probably not. It's going to be a dive or I guess a Giga maybe.
Probably not here in America, yeah. But that's the thing is like what's going to be the real winning strategy for the new Six Flags, right? Obviously, cutting operating expenses is a priority for a portfolio that big,
Yeah,
which makes sense, right? But like at some point that's only going to do so much, right?
yeah, exactly.
Like at what point, I guess, like how soon until we find out what parks are going to be the winners and losers? And I don't know what exactly that all would entail.
Well, but also too, there's also that middle category of parks that could probably be fine just as they are. Like I don't know, it's just weird. I mean, I almost wonder if like there's strategy conversations going on of like how do we how do we wipe this concept of coaster capitals and coaster records and coaster wars like out of public opinion? You know, they're probably they're probably using AI, and they're like, well, like if we remove the biggest coasters out of the park and then just maintain for 5 years, at a certain point, the guests will just come anyway, and they won't have that expectation of bigger rides. So, like, we could just downsize the park and maintain our guests coming in versus trying to bring new guests in every year.
Well, yeah, I don't think we'll ever see Cedar Fair spending more than like, or I guess Six Flags now spending more than like, I don't know, 15 million on a single investment,
Yeah,
which nowadays is like maybe a family B&M.
yeah. With
I
a
don't
comes with a rattle.
I don't think at this juncture I see them installing like a B&M Giga anywhere.
Possibly Great Adventure. I mean, although if they're doing the King to Ka thing, I mean, I could see maybe Magic. No, Magic Mountain would get good. Go. I don't know what you'd even build like at Magic Mountain if you took out X2. It'd probably be something stupid.
I don't
I
think
mean,
they're going
maybe.
to take out X2 though.
I mean, considering, but like considering that Great Adventure was or whatever, King to Ka was such a big icon for Great Adventure, and they just took it out without giving a shit.
Yeah,
X2,
but
I feel like X2 is in the same boat.
does X2 cost anywhere near as much to maintain?
That I don't know. I can't imagine it's cheap. However, it is a year round park, so maybe that kind of pads it a little bit. I mean, there's also like three other coasters could see getting removed before X2, but
That's what I'm saying. I feel like Superman would be first, second probably Viper,
yeah.
third Apocalypse.
Yeah, maybe. I guess if they just don't want Woodies anymore. It sucks that ride kind of they let that one go.
Yeah, well, I mean, they cost more to maintain.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, like, I guess Scream, maybe honorable mention, but if they take out Scream, they're not going to replace it, right?
Yeah.
And are they really going to turn that back into parking lot?
They like literally just knock the ride down and like the parking space, they just leave those parking spaces as is.
Right? Like, that's what I'm saying is like, I guess that could theoretically get torn down, but at the same time, yeah, like, there's like those three other rides I feel like are definitely more likely to go. I mean, possibly if they're doing Superman, possibly also Gold Rusher, which I
Yeah,
would
I
hate to
suppose if
see.
yeah, I mean, I wonder. I guess like look, I guess at a certain point, right? Like you would hope that Magic Mountain gets some big investment again. Question is just what could it be? Like, would they? I don't think they'd go the route of Giga. I mean, they might. I don't know.
Well, that press release said that they're going to get a first of its kind in North America roller coaster.
Which could maybe be like I don't know. I don't know what that could be. A PAX
Yeah, right. What about
or first of its kind in the U.S.
a
It's like
Vekoma
golden.
hyper coaster?
Yeah. Or it's like a Gymna,
Oh,
Golden Horse.
what if it's a Morgan Giga?
I mean, that'd be kind of fun.
That'd be sick, wouldn't it? Fucking Steel Dragon 2000.
I mean, you'd hope they would do something big. Like that eventually they have to, right? I don't know. Like all their stuff is like aging.
Well,
And I
here's the
mean
thing,
even
right?
like
Is
they're
think
not going to
about
get rid of Goliath, I don't think, but
well,
like
they're painting it right now, so I think no, it's good.
yeah.
They wouldn't be painting it if it was about to get torn out like
Yeah.
anytime soon. So I think Goliath is good. But here's what I think about more broadly, right? Is that like think about the what market they serve in the greater Los Angeles area, right? Because if you think about it this way, it's like Disneyland is like the the top dog, right?
Yeah.
Um, then I would say probably DCA and Universal Hollywood are about equal for that second place, where it's like all those are like family parks, and Disneyland's like more like the, I guess, younger kids, maybe you would call it, and
Yeah.
Universal Hollywood's more like teenagers, I guess they aim for. Knott's is like kind of like family but more budget.
Hmm.
SeaWorld's got like the shows mainly. So Magic Mountain is left being the roller coaster park, like the thrill park, right? That's the niche they
Yeah.
serve. So there's no way they can transition that from that and still be expecting to like serve the LA area.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's for sure. I just
So
hope
everything
that they
go
do. I don't know. I guess they have their plan. I guess I hope they have a plan. If it involves like removing something big, like even like removing something like, I don't know, Riddler's Revenge or Scream,
well, I think
and
if you
doing
look at
some.
the plot of land that they're installing the stuff for 2026 and the ride there, it used to be, I think, the Golden Bear Theater, and it stretches from basically Full Throttle all the way down to like Crazanity.
Okay.
Let me pull up the map to confirm that, but let me see. Hold on. Do.
Holy shit, random, but Bitcoin hit
Wait, what was that?
102,000.
Sorry.
Just random, but Bitcoin hit 102,000. That's
Sorry, my
insane.
headphone cables are fucking up.
I mean, nothing important. I was just Bitcoin hit 102,000, which is absolutely insane.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that space there, it's from Full Throttle all the way down to Crazanity. Google the map
So,
real quick. You can see how big of a plot it is. Hey, keep talking real quick. I gotta adjust my headphones.
hey, hi, what's up?
Okay, there we go. Sorry. Yeah, so anyway, if you look at the map, right? If you look between where Full Throttle is at, look directly to the right of Full Throttle on the map.
Oh,
From
I typed in Six Flags Great Mountain.
Great Mountain.
Okay, so Full Throttle through the theater, and
Theater's
then
gone.
okay,
Already been leveled. So
and
that whole
then
site, all the way back to Superman, from Full Throttle all the way over to the flat rides there.
is Crazanity by
It's on
Buccaneer.
the other side. I fucked up which rides, but there's flat rides there.
Um, so what is so Buccaneer and Swashbuckler? Is that where Crazanity is?
Number 2. Wait, Crazanity's on the other side of Superman from the theater. Basically, the entire plot where the theater is, between Full Throttle and those flats over there, directly to the right of Full Throttle.
Oh wait, maybe I don't remember where Crazanity is.
It's not Crazanity.
Oh,
I
it's
said the wrong ride.
oh, gotcha. Okay, but it's by the flat rides.
Yeah, that space where the
Okay,
theater is. So
okay,
that whole plot
gotcha.
is where the coaster's going to go.
Okay,
So if you look at that, if they remove Superman and Gold Rusher, they could have like that new ride where the theater's at and something new on the other side there, that would both be pretty dang sizable.
Yeah. Oh
Cause
man,
like,
they're gonna remove so many trees.
yeah, unfortunately, but like that spot, all that land there, that all is perfect expansion plot. So if they did like Great Adventure, right? They just did like pull out Superman, get rid of Gold Rusher, but with like a plan to like expand that entire thing into like
Yeah.
new rides. I could see that working really well.
Well, so for comparison of plot size, that is about the size of Riddler's Revenge, or like the length of Wonder Woman. Definitely doesn't look big enough for like a Giga, but it's pretty big.
No, but like hold on, I'm looking on Google Maps now. Um whoops. There we go. Like yeah. Swashbuckler. So everything between Full Throttle and Swashbuckler, that whole thing.
Hmm. Yeah, now I wonder what first of its kind is.
That's what I'm saying. But I think, there's a good plot of land there. So it'll be exciting to see.
I'm just looking on Street View. There's gonna be a lot of trees gone. That sucks.
And then looking over on the other side of the park, if they got rid of Viper, there's a huge plot over there, too. And then lastly, right up in that back corner, Apocalypse is also a nice plot of expansion land.
Now I want to go back to Magic Mountain.
Dude, I love Magic Mountain. I don't care what anyone says about that park. I've always loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never actually had like a horrendous customer service experience there, like other people have.
Yeah, I don't know if I've just been lucky or what, but I've always had a great time there. It's an awesome park. Last time I was there, I rode Goliath and enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the problem is like it, Goliath and Titan. They're not like bad coasters. I think they're just in that shadow of Millennium Force.
Or even like Raging Bull or something.
Yeah, and I would almost argue it's still one of probably the smoothest coasters of that age.
Yeah, definitely no complaints about the way it rides. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah, and if you haven't been there, Meetup's a great time to go.
yeah. Magic Mountain would be a fun meetup park. And like, yeah, we were kind of talking. If there's a way to squeeze in like a Friday night for like a couple hours and then a Saturday, just to take some of that credit anxiety off if you haven't been there before.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna be there for the meetup, um, join on our Discord and help us plan it out so we can get it all planned appropriately the best way possible. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, I gotta throw that on my calendar.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a good time. Now, you got any got any stuff you've been doing? I know it's Thanksgiving.
No, I was just saying. Did you hear what I was saying about Bitcoin before?
No.
Oh, I was just scrolling and I saw it hit 103,000,
Oh shit.
which is insane. Like that doesn't seem real.
I gotta look up my account. I gotta find my cold wallet.
I'm not opposed to this idea that it's all a scam and it's all going to go to zero and whatever, but like I just it's weird how I don't know, it doesn't seem real.
Holy shit! Yeah, no kidding.
It's kind of like buying stock in a company you don't understand at all. Like that's the way I look at it. Like
Yeah,
who knows? It's a
maybe this will
gamble.
be worth something. I hope so. Fucking, we decided to spend our Thanksgiving at Disneyland.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It
Yeah,
was fun.
oh yeah, I was just saying we didn't do really anything. It was like a very low key family exposure kind of holiday.
Before I launch into my thing, did you cook?
I like did like a regular, meal cooking thing. Um Lots of wine, stuff like that. Pies. It was good. But I think what's funny about Thanksgiving when you think about it is like the meal used to me like regardless of like obviously like the past and the history behind it is problematic, but like it kind of if you took away all that stuff and you just thought of it as like, well, remove the history and like the importance of it as like an annual holiday because it is a weird holiday, right? Like it is kind of like really just sort of like a prequel to Christmas, but it doesn't have any like significance to people. Um, but like back in the day, there used to be something special about being able to eat a 4,000 calorie meal. But current day in America, right? That's just any old day. Because, like, people used to have to work manual labor and farm and do all that stuff. Like, right? Like being able to eat a 400 calorie pecan pie was probably pretty special. Nowadays, it's just like you can get a 5,000 calorie meal on DoorDash and scroll TikTok and watch people shoving like 20 chicken tenders down
Yeah,
their throat.
I'm doing a mukbang as we speak.
Yeah, in the era of being able to DoorDash a mukbang, like I think we can kind of ditch this concept of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right. I spent $90 on Taco Bell and I'm gorging myself right now.
Because now it's like gross, and it's like we're so sedentary, and everyone works either from home or an office, and just it's like we don't need the excess of food anymore. If anything, it should be like reverse Thanksgiving where everyone just has to eat like a salad. You have to fast. It's like a day of fasting. But
Everybody has to be
anyway,
vegan for the day.
yeah, like well,
I mean,
I'm just good though.
I'm glad I didn't have to cook, and it's kind of nice to not have the pressure of like attending a holiday.
Yeah,
That was
yeah, that's
nice.
nice. Yeah,
Um, think to keep it short, you know, we got on Tiana's. That was awesome. Go down the Bayou. It's fun. And that song from the
does the park
finale scene. Go ahead.
does the park have like inflatable turkeys and stuff walking around the park, or what's the gist of Thanksgiving Disney?
No, because it's like holiday, so it's already all done up for Christmas. But they did have some like a Thanksgiving plate available at one place, and some special Thanksgiving Day food items, but we didn't get any because I don't eat turkey.
Yeah. So I
We
mean,
went
the
to
the
Din
spread
Tai
of thing.
Fung.
I was gonna say just the spread of Thanksgiving's like not that great. Like Holiday World, where they have that Thanksgiving feast restaurant, like not what I want to be eating on a hot June day. But
That's what I'm saying. It was like
anyway,
75 degrees and sunny. I'm not really. I'm not looking for mashed potatoes,
yeah,
but yeah, we ate at Din Tai Fung, which was fucking awesome. That's kind of been our Christmas go to the past couple of years when we are visiting Vegas to see Rianne's mom. It's I think Taiwanese food.
Okay.
Super
Nice.
good. They got like good buns and gyoza, and yeah, it was awesome. So they have one at downtown Disney. It's awesome. Um, if we're doing the meetup at Disneyland, I mean that place is worth hitting if you want a good meal like that. Well, let's see. We also ate at the Blue Bayou, which um it like okay, so the food's not bad there, but I've determined that that restaurant is basically like character dining for adults.
Hmm.
Like the character dining restaurants where they have, Mickey and Minnie and Goofy come around to every table and the
Yeah.
food's like, it's fine. Blue Bayou is that, but for adults. So you get like, a plate of pasta or like Rian got steak and like Pirates of the Caribbean's right there and it's going by. But like the food's okay.
Yeah.
But for the price you pay for it, you're definitely paying for sitting next to the ride. So like if you want to eat at Blue Bayou, just keep that in mind. um we did catch World of Color Season of Light from the Lamplight Lounge, which is a restaurant bar at DCA that's like on the water there. It's on the level of the water too. So World of Color, you're like looking right at the fountains.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. That I would highly recommend to anyone. Um Also, our bartender was fucking dope. Encouraged us to order off the menu. So we ordered hot toddies. And, like, I swear to you, he emptied the bottle to make them. And they were like half fucking whiskey.
Oh, nice. I guess that's
So,
probably a good. That's probably good, always a good thing at a Disney park of all places.
well, yeah. And that's the thing, right? You're going and they pour heavy handed. And that's like we were talking about before we started recording, right? Is just be kind of not an asshole
Yeah.
to the people. Be nice to cast members. Be nice to everyone in the service industry. And it usually comes back to you, right? Karma works that way.
Yeah.
Um Other things of note. Got on Space Mountain. Love it. It's awesome. We went on Radiator Springs. There was a just a thing with the queue there. So we entered the line and it said it was a 60-minute wait, and we ended up waiting 2.5 hours for it, and it went down for 4 minutes that they announced, but the whole rest of that extra hour and a half of waiting was due to Lightning Lane.
So they just stop standby and fill empty lightning lane basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if the Lightning Lane starts to back up, they just exclusively load Lightning Lane into the station.
Yeah. That's annoying.
Yeah. And the ride's awesome, but the queue's not great. There's not a ton to look at, not a ton of great theming. So it's particularly painful. And then like the cast members kept coming over the speakers and announcing the current wait time, which made it more frustrating and
Yeah.
also confusing because it's like, how could everybody's wait in the standby line be the same? You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's like if the standby line is now 110 minutes, what does that mean for us when we've already waited, 60? Does that mean it's going to be another 110? Does that mean it's only another 50? Like, you know what I mean? But they just kept updating every couple, like 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes they would come over and be like, it's now 80 minutes. Now it's 100. And
I mean, I would guess it would be if you were maybe the entire. I don't know. I guess I would assume it's the whole line, but yeah. Who knows? Maybe they just make shit up.
well, and that's what I think it is that they basically have like a guide of like, oh, if it reaches this point, like the standby queue, then it's this long.
Yeah.
But if there's so many people in the lightning lane, then you add another X.
Yeah.
But it's not perfect, and they always announce it's subject to change. So, what I'm going to recommend to all of you is if you visit DCA, you want to ride Radiator Springs, you do want to ride, it's great. Pay the extra money. It's like usually around $20 to $25 by the individual lightning lane to get on that ride. Because apparently, it's even prone to having the same problem if you rope drop it.
Yeah, I could see that.
So either be prepared to shell out the 20, $30 to get the one ride access to it, or potentially stand in line for, upwards of 2.5 hours. Which in itself, not necessarily an issue. I wouldn't sign up for it. And that's exactly the problem, was we were expecting a 60-minute wait, and what we actually got was 150 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas if it just said 150 minutes, we'd have just kept walking.
Yeah, right.
So, all that said, just buy the lightning lane if you're going to ride Radiator Springs.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the parks are doing the kind of one-time use flash pass thing, even though it's, I mean, kind of expensive. But there are situations where, in the like, I'm thinking back on park experiences in the past where that would have really paid off.
Oh, yeah, dude, I love it because it's
Like,
like, I don't necessarily want to spend $90 to get a flash pass for everything, but
yeah,
I would spend 15 to get a flash pass for this one ride,
hmm, yeah,
which it's great that that's an option at pretty much all the parks now. Of course, at Disney, it works a little differently, but what doesn't, right?
I mean, the whole thing is like once you start introducing skip the line, it's really hard to backtrack and like manage all these different things now. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, the thing that's just annoying about that specifically is like, I started timing our waits in all the other queues, and all of them were within 5 minutes of the posted wait time.
Yeah,
So there's not this huge fluctuation for any other ride except for Radiator Springs.
right. Yeah,
I mean, it's probably worth buying one for Rise of the Resistance too, just because that ride has frequent downtimes.
yeah, sure.
With Tiana's, uh, I'd say try to get a virtual queue first, because our wait in line with the virtual queue was only about 30 minutes.
I mean, what is that? What's that standby now? Does that? I mean, does it even get long in the winter?
So it doesn't have standby currently available because it just opened.
Oh, okay.
So like you have to get a virtual queue to get on it, or
Yeah,
buy the individual attraction pass.
yeah.
So you get up at 7 in the morning, or I think they do another drop at noon as well. But you just join up on the virtual queue there, and it'll assign you a party, and then they call back all the groups. So when we went, we got group 28, and that got called at about 10:30, which was perfect. We grabbed some beignets from Tiana's Palace. They were okay. I hear the Jazz Kitchen window is the way to go at Downtown Disney. So I guess go with that. Question mark. We didn't try any of the real food at Tiana's, like none of the jambalaya or gumbo or anything. Which, like, kind of, to be honest, seems a little heavy for a park, but whatever.
Yeah.
Um, get a poncho, because that fucking, like I mentioned last time we talked about it, that splash down into the laughing place, or when you shrink down to find the frog band, man, that shit'll fuck your whole life with water.
Even the shoe thing, like I know you're not supposed to take shoes off on rides. Um, I always do it on water rides though.
Don't just take your socks off or wear like flip flops or Crocs or bring different shoes to change into or they got like what's it called fucking like silicone baggies that you can put over your shoes on Amazon.
Oh yeah, that works. I switched a couple of years ago. I switched to exclusively Chacos, which is a game changer at parks. But
Wait, what are Chacos?
they're like like the strap sandals.
Okay,
They're just like it's like a specific brand.
I
Um,
gotcha.
I'm a I don't even wear shoes anymore. I'm basically like I hike in Chacos, bike in Chacos, and then when it snows, you just switch to winter boots. Like I literally just go from Chacos to winter boots. I hate shoes.
I really like Choco Tacos.
But like back in like the Vans era when that was a thing, and those were the worst shoes to get wet. Um, I'd always like do the thing where you bring like a grocery bag, and once the ride starts, you kick your shoes off and put them in the bag, and then just like hold them. Because they yell at you. You have to you have to like wear shoes on the ride, but they don't seem to care if you're on the ride and then you take your shoes off. So, fun tip.
That's also pretty gross.
Yeah, you just make sure you don't touch the bottoms.
I think maybe just accept your fate and do what you can to mitigate. Because I wear
It,
Vans, but I took my socks off. And also you can like so like there's a way you can sit in the logs where you like put your legs like your feet all the way up and like don't bend your knees and
yeah,
they'll go all the way forward and up. It doesn't prevent them from getting some splash, but you're not going to be like soaking in it
yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
because those logs are like big too. They've got like 5 seats or 6.
I remember riding that with like my video camera in my pocket last time we were there.
Yeah, I don't know how we didn't get soaked, but I keep hearing that Tiana's actually is like even more wet than Splash was. So
They like added fountains or water features or something.
I don't know. Everybody
Cannons.
just like it's. I just keep hearing from lots of people that it's you just get more wet than you did on Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
At least at Disneyland. I'm not sure about Disney World, which that whole LA ORL thing that's so dumb. I don't know
Well,
if you saw that at all.
I know what you're like. I can't like I saw that when the second you said, I know exactly what you're talking about. I scrolled past it recently, but I didn't know what it was really.
So it was like a graphic from some news station. I don't even know if it's real or if it's photoshopped, but it was like Disneyland and then the LA was italicized or whatever, and then
Yeah,
Walt Disney World and ORL is italicized.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of stupid, but
Yeah, because it's like, oh, it works for every park. Disneyland Paris, Disneyland Hong Kong, Tokyo, Disneyland. I was getting in on the fun on Twitter, of course, X, I guess, because old person here. Here's what I wrote. OMG, how did I never notice? Six Flags Great Milwaukee area Chicago just cuz, I don't know, the whole thing's dumb. Part of me is like, Anaheim's not LA and Lake Buena Vista is also not Orlando. And then part of me is like yeah, the people who care, like the people who know that distinction between Disneyland and Disney World, already know that they're not in technically LA or technically Orlando.
I mean, yeah, like when it comes, it's kind of like with airports too. I mean, if you say like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example now. I guess I wonder if LAX is actually in Los Angeles.
It is. Well,
Oh,
I think it might be Inglewood. It's like bordering Inglewood. It's like right there.
let's see. Oh yeah, I guess it is. It is at Los Angeles. But I'm trying to think of like what's the. I guess IAH is also maybe. Yeah, maybe. Okay, maybe airports are a good example because it seems like cities just draw their borders around the airport to extend it. Same with Denver. Like they literally, like if you look at the map of the city of Denver, they basically drew like lines around the freeway and then Pena and then around the airport and just included that in Denver.
Chicago did the
Um,
same thing. It's except
yeah,
it's not even the freeway. It's like literally one road.
yeah. So maybe that's, but you know what I mean. Like you're not. It's like or like when people say Six Flags Los Angeles. It's like it's not technically true, but you know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, and I mean the thing is like in 1955 when Walt Disney was opening Disneyland, he wasn't like, we'll call it Disneyland so that people know it's near LA.
Right.
And conversely, in 71, when they were opening Walt Disney World, they weren't like, oh, we'll call it Walt Disney World so it has ORL so people know it's in Orlando. Like it's that's a nice happy little coincidence that that works that way. But I'm going back to the point of like the only people who give a shit about that already know the distinction between the two.
Right. Yeah.
I highly doubt that in 2024 anybody's accidentally buying tickets for the wrong one.
I'm sure it happens, but yeah. You know that happens. I'm sure that happens. Actually, I bet that happens more frequently than you think. But not a. It's not a like a. You know, just because people are stupid. Like people buy that like the wrong Six Flags tickets too, and that's like the story of when I was working at Cedar Point and I was walking through Challenge Park and they had like a pamphlet for Canada's Wonderland and they're like, "Hey, like where? How do we get to Behemoth?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, I thought maybe it was like I don't know, like a restaurant I didn't know of or like a burger stand I didn't know of or something. And they like whip it out and it's fucking Canada's Wonderland. I'm like, this isn't the right park. To this day, I don't know if I was just being trolled or something, but they
You
seem,
definitely were.
but it wasn't like,
That
thing
was
is
like
like,
some smart enthusiasts.
yeah, but the thing, if it was like somebody in their 20s, right? I would guess so. But this was like a parent, like, or like two parents with like a, I don't know, like, I don't know, like mid late 30s, just like a generic couple. And then there was like a kid with them. So that's why it could have been like, I'm not saying it wasn't, but like it didn't give off that vibe. If it was like an enthusiast, I don't know, like a 20-year-old or like someone wearing like a fanny pack or like someone by themselves, maybe. But I don't know. It's still the biggest mystery. And I sometimes can't sleep at night and I think about it. But if they did mix up the park, that is hilarious, though.
I mean, it would be funny. I don't even know what they would say in that situation. Because, like, with the Disney ones, the shit's all on your phone.
Yeah.
And they're like separate apps and everything.
Yeah, true.
And you'd have to make reservations. If you get that far in and you fuck it up, I don't know. I get people are stupid, but there's a lot of steps. There's a lot of extra steps with the Disney parks where like, you accidentally buy tickets to Great America instead of America, that's a pretty easy mix up. But like, you download the wrong app and make reservations for the wrong park.
But yeah, true. But unless they show you like a map before you purchase tickets, where it's like it shows like a giant arrow, and it's like this is where you're going. This is for your reservation. And it like has a giant arrow to California. That reminds me, like, okay, so that of like mixing things up, right? This reminds me of a story. It's a friend, a local Denver friend that you've met, and I'll withhold the name just because it's a funny story. But um, so she was trying to take an Uber to my house, and she lived downtown at the time, and I lived like right by the stadium. It was that place that overlooked Elitch, and
Okay.
I text her the address, and it's 2170 Bryant Street or 2170 North Bryant Street. And the thing is, like when
You
you
want me to
put
edit that out?
no, it doesn't matter because you still need. It's like a complex. There's apartment numbers, and I don't live there anymore. It's not a big deal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Plus, just saying the apartment that overlooks Elitch is kind of if you want to dig that deep, go for it. I don't care. Um, but anyway, like it was one of those where like there's technically a North Bryant Street, but like if you don't enter the North Street, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like if you type it into Google Maps, like you still get the right address. Um, so I would always just send like the address without the North because 99% of the time, like it works. Well, I guess she typed in North Street. And so 2170 North is like a completely different part. It's like way north. It's like 10 miles north of Denver somehow. And
Oh
she
shit.
and she got in an Uber pool and then um like was in the pool with like three other people. And obviously once you do a pool and you do the wrong address, like you get really far out of the way. And she's like, I'm like, how far away are you? She's like, I don't know, like I'm in Westminster right now. Like and then I was like, what's your location? I'm like, why are you way the fuck up there? And then she typed in the wrong address. Anyway, long story short, like she finally shows up. I had to pay like a expensive Uber to get back down, and then she got all mad at me. And I was like, okay, when you entered the address in your phone, right? Uber shows you that map, right? And they have like the pins. I was like, you knew I lived next to the stadium, and you looked at that map, and you were like, that looks right. And then she was like, oh, well, like I didn't look at the map, type of thing, you know. So anyway, well, people are just clumsy.
Ah, you agreed to the T's and C's.
But like it's one of those things. It's really funny though. Like if you look at the comparison of like the directions it should be versus like what it is, it's like way different. Like, but
Well, don't go 10 miles out of your way, I guess. I don't know.
I want to know that the family. There's got to be a story out there of a family that booked like a 2 week trip, reservations, plane tickets. Like what about like Europeans, right? Like they don't have the same concept of like East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? You go to make reservations at Disneyland, it'll say what park, Disneyland or Disney's California Adventure.
Well, I guess that would be enough to figure it out.
Granted, Disney World doesn't have like Disney's Florida Adventure, but I don't know. I think that's enough context.
Yeah, true.
If you get that far and fuck it up, I still think, you know, kind of on you.
Yeah.
But, you're right. I'm sure it happens more frequently than I can even conceive of.
And I'm sure they're a pain in the ass. Like, that's pretty funny though.
And then they show up and it's like, okay, well, it'll be $146 per person to get in today. And they're like, what? And it's like,
Yeah, they're like,
oh, wait, actually, I'm sorry. There's no reservations available for today.
yeah, and I mean, it's one of those too where it's like, yeah, they're like, we can't refund anything, but we'll let you purchase new ones.
Yep. And that's true at any park. You're not getting money back for shit.
Just like there's that family of apparently like the people who they like bought hotel reservations but didn't have park reservations or something.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens a lot too. There's big signs up from at Disneyland when you're making your way in that say like theme park reservations are required, which I'm assuming only stay there because people still show up going, "What do you mean I can't just buy a ticket and go in?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's got
No,
to be
I'm sorry,
frustrating.
you need a phone
Yeah.
because I don't
Did
think
it
they'll even give you a printed ticket anymore.
but like that'd be a fun thing to try. My new one thing I do like to do is like when a restaurant has the QR code is like which I understand it's probably a little annoying, but like it's like sorry, I don't have my phone on me. Can I get a paper menu?
And they just say everything real quick. They're like, "Oh, sorry, all we got today is rigatoni."
I do hate the dependency of the phone though. Like because yeah, I guess like I guess technically the Magic Band can replace it, right? Could you just like get a Magic Band without your phone?
Yes and no. If you're not planning on using lightning lanes, yes, but the only advantage there, at least at Disneyland, is just that you don't have to use your phone to enter the park.
Oh, okay, yeah.
At Disney World, you can use it as your room key for your hotel,
You better hope that security is good.
right? Well, and then you can also use it to charge purchases at Disney World because they'll charge it to your room.
Okay, yeah,
But none of that's available at Disneyland.
yeah. That's got to get fun. That's like there's bars. So like there's a bar here that does drinks, and it's like one of those things where there's like multiple bars and multiple restaurants, and you walk in, they give you the wristband with the little you know RFID chip on it, and then you order food and beer on the chip, and like obviously you're not always thinking and looking at prices when you're doing that. It's like way easier to and you don't have to. There's no like sign out. There's automatic gratuity and it's linked to your card and then they just close you out at the end of the night so you don't even see like your receipt or like what you've been charged.
Oh, damn.
I think you can request like I think you can ask for it um like if you really wanted to, but you can just walk out and you don't have to close out. But yeah, that gets dangerous.
Yeah, you're just like, had a couple drinks and a pizza, and then you're like, $160. What the fuck?
Yeah, especially after that third beer, then it's like it's fun though. I haven't been there in a while.
Just bring a pitcher. What the fuck?
Yeah, we used to play volleyball there. It was like a multi-facility, like they have volleyball courts, and they also had like a stage. So you'd be like watching somebody doing open mic, like as you're playing volleyball, and then you've got this like a music festival bracelet on your wrist, and so then every time you like, um, what is it, bump set,
Spike.
maybe it's bump, whatever the word is, where you use your wrist to hit the ball.
I think that's bump. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the like piece of plastic stab in your wrist.
You're like, geez, what is G Easy doing here? It's like, I either picture, since you're in Colorado, that type of place to just have like some insufferable jam band playing, or an
Usually,
equally insufferable dubstep DJ.
it's usually like it's kind of like not usually jam band and an open mic. It's usually the like I don't know how to describe it. It's usually it's usually like kind of like the trust fund DJ.
Yeah, like the Instagram bro.
Yeah. And what's annoying is that those types will just set up their shit in the like in like public parks. like without permits and stuff. There's so in Boulder there's a river spot, which is basically like imagine like a intamin rapids ride, but like natural, so you can like tube, and then there's like a nice sidewalk that parallels it, so you can get out, walk to the top, go down rapids. If you do the whole thing, it's like multiple miles, which is cool if you like wanted to do a shuttle or something. But anyway, it's just like it's like your typical, just like it's like college kids. You just find a spot, hang up hammocks, day drink, piss in the river, like just do whatever. And then like every once in a while, like later mid afternoon, suddenly like people start bringing their DJ equipment, and it's like, oh fuck. And then like another one will set up. So eventually, there at any point that you'll hear like overlapping like DJ music, and everyone's just kind of like, everyone has the same like look. We're like, God damn it, like no one wants this.
Yeah, why do all those people go to Colorado?
I don't know.
Because I joined like a bass music Discord and everyone like talks about Colorado like it's some mecca for that shit, and I'm like, is it though? Really? Like,
Yeah, Colorado is one of those things where it's a lot of things to people who don't live here. And I'm not saying, obviously I'm here, so it's obviously great, and I like it. It works for me, but um, it's always interesting, like when you hear people talk about it, like who want to come out here, and then it's just kind of like, I'm like, I don't know what your impression is, or like where you got that, but that's not really what it's like here. I suppose. I mean, I'm sure California is the same way.
I was
I
gonna
mean,
say, as somebody who is from Chicago and now lives in San Francisco, I understand that just kind of from the opposite perspective.
yeah,
It's like, I don't know what you heard on Fox News, but not really.
yeah. I
I
also
don't
just
know.
think,
I don't know what you heard from your crypto friends, but not really.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it just seems any of those like kind of hype cities are like that. Fortunately, though, Duluth doesn't have that problem. It is what it is.
Well, I'm here in SF for the time being.
I like it. I think in a different like opportunity timeline, it would have worked out to live out there, or at least try it for a little bit. Um, but I think what I should have done is when I started that when I was doing like the consulting and I had that HP project, that's when I probably should have done that. Was when I was like 27, 28.
I mean, there's plenty of good places here if you're still thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Job wise, like it'd have to be the right job. Um, I don't know if the EV industry is gonna swing back anytime soon, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't. Who
Like
knows?
the a lot of people I worked with at my old job came from Tesla, um, and a few of them actually went back to Tesla, and they were like, "You want to try Tesla?" And it's like, I don't know, not really, not from what I heard, because basically it was one of those things. It was one of those things where like when I was, when I was at Lucid, everyone was talking shit about Tesla. I was like, "Oh man, Tesla was awful. Like I had no work life balance, like this and this and that." Like, and then 3 years after Lucid, it's like, oh man, like fuck this place. I have no work life balance. Like it's so stressful. And then they go back to Tesla.
I mean, that doesn't seem ideal. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I like the Bay for now. Bay's cool.
It's pretty. It's got good. I just love like it's just like such a naturally scenic, walkable, like diverse city.
I wish it wasn't so expensive,
Yeah, for sure.
but public transit's pretty good. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Weather's nice. But I don't know, dude. You got anything else?
Not really. I
Right on.
It's that cold, dark time of year, which always sucks.
It does. Makes me even more appreciative to be here in California.
Hmm. It's still dark though.
It is, but it helps a ton to have it be, you know, in the mid 50s, low
Yeah,
60s.
yeah. I guess that was one thing that always messed with me was like because winter is still winter there, but like the expectations just are shifted a little bit to where I like in my mind I'm like, oh, it's nice, it's gonna be nice out, but like it's still cold, even though it's only 50. It's not. It's like 50, not 20, but it's like still cold. Like it's still like winter. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's like instead of like layering up and like, long underwear and long sleeve and boot socks and coat, it's like, do I need a hoodie or a jacket?
Yeah,
And that's a lot fucking nicer.
yeah. But there's like almost a weird. See, I always got kind of a weird cabin fever with that though, where it's almost like frustrating. Where it's like, oh well, it's halfway nice. I almost would rather it be. Whereas like when it's like brutally cold and it's like blowing snow, there's kind of an added comfort to being inside. Like especially like in deep winter when there's like a snowstorm. Like even like when you live in Chicago, right? And like even in like your apartment, right? There's don't you isn't there some coziness on like a Saturday where you don't have to leave the apartment and it's like windy and snowing and like you're just kind of like cozied up in the apartment all day
Yeah,
watching
but
movies
the
and
problem is it's like that for like 4 or 5 months.
sure, yeah.
I can do it for like a week or a weekend, but yeah, for like 4 or 5 months on end is like too much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I'd much rather go, you know, plan a trip to Chicago if I really am feeling that an urge for that
Yeah.
than to have to do the opposite. Like, how the fuck do I escape this cold?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But that's just me.
I got some of my worst seasonal depression was in Sacramento in the wintertime.
I mean, Sacramento is kind of a depressing place to be, is it not?
No, it's pretty nice. I actually that's like as far as like expectations, what people say. Like, it's funny, like, and I because people I worked with, in the Bay Area, like I always talk about how much I like Sacramento, and everyone's like, "Ugh, Sacramento," and I'm like, "Have you lived there?" And they're like, Well, no." It's like it's one of those places everyone kind of shits on, but like no one's really ever been there. I think Sacramento's really cool. Um, because it's still a Californian city, but it's way less hectic than any other city, and it's smaller. It's like it's more chill. There's a lot of good restaurants. It's surrounded by agriculture, so it's always just like very, kind of like springtime. It's like really beautiful. There's like tons of flowers and like very almost like tropical like plants and um, it's not humid. I don't know. Personally, I always thought Sacramento was cool,
I guess I
but
haven't been there, so I'd have to check it out. I just find it like a little hard to get on board with a place that goes by the moniker Sacktown.
yeah, it's true. But but in the winter time though, it rains a lot, like torrential downpour, like fully like long sustained like rainstorms. And I don't know if that's like historically normal for that region. I think it is though. I think that's why there's so much agriculture there is because of how much rain it gets in the winter.
That
Um,
makes sense. Like I know north of here must get a ton because like wine country and all that.
yeah, it's I guess it's what I it's like I think it's what people would expect Seattle to be. Like because like it was I don't know it was like multiple months of just like Orlando style like rain, but with it being in like the 40s and just dark, because you have that like really thick overcast plus the
Oh
rain
yeah,
plus
that
the
would kill
cold.
me.
Um, and that really fucked with me when I was there, and like, I was always like stuck in hotels and stuff. Um, and then like yeah, like compared to that to Seattle, it's like gloomy, but it's misty. It's not really rain. It's like there's like a ambient kind of overcast fog with like light rain on and off, but it's not like downpouring puddles.
Haven't been there either.
Check it out. If you were bored, just drive north. Do like the
What for 12
sack.
hours?
I mean, if you do 7 to Magic Mountain, you can hit some credits. Get those loose credits.
Dude,
Like
Magic Mountain's like 5.
oh well, do like the Portland credits, and then you only got 3 hours left to go to Seattle. Do the Seattle credits, and then do the 2.5 hours to Silverwood. Or I guess
I
no,
don't
it's more
know
than that.
about that. Yeah, that's so far. And also for reasons that should be kind of clear, but I'm not going to get too deep into here. I don't think Rianne wants to visit that region,
Is it? I guess yeah. Small towns, yeah. In between,
like Silverwood and
yeah,
specifically Silverwood.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. That makes
but you
sense.
know, that's so I don't know for sure how down I am to go drive 12 hours one way on my own.
Well, I mean, Portland and Seattle themselves would be good.
Yeah, but for all that, you just fly just as easy
Yeah,
because the flight's probably pretty quick.
yeah, yeah. It is. It's like I used to do Sacramento to Seattle. It was like 40 minutes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, on Alaska for like $99.
There we go. Yeah, Seattle could be fun. Probably wait till, spring or summer though.
Yeah, spring's a good time. I need to visit again. It's been almost 2 years, sadly.
I want to go drink all the coffee and smoke all the weed.
Yeah, lots of that. It's also a good beer city. I would almost like Denver's a good beer city, but I would almost say that Seattle is like just as good. And Portland. They're all fine.
Okay, well I'll have to try some brews out there.
I would say Oregon is like the cheapest weed, and then it's like the dispenser, like every dispensary I went to in Oregon, it was like always the craziest experience. Where like it's unlike any other state. It's so loose. It's just kind of like a because everything is like loose and open jar and stuff, and it's super lax. It's just kind of like you buy like you're like, oh, can I get a quarter of that? And then they're just like, yeah, I threw in some extra, and it's like like 1.4 of like what you actually bought, and they'll just like, oh, here, have some free edibles,
That's nuts.
or like one time walk in, I'm like, all I have is $7. What can I buy? And he's like, well, you can get like, I don't know, I'll sell you like 3 half-gram joints. How about that? It's like
Nice.
perfect. It was literally one of those like my debit card expired yesterday, and all I have is like pocket change in my car.
Enough to get you high.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all you need. Holy shit, fuck. We've
Yeah.
we've surpassed 2 hours.
And we didn't really talk much about any coaster news, but
Not really. Just the way a good episode should be.
Love Ibora was closed. Um, Apparently, they're getting a Giga Dive. That's the rumor. We'll see how that shakes out.
I don't know if anyone's heard this, but King to Ka closed.
Yeah. I think that was official. Like, was that one of those things where it was officially closed like 2 days after we recorded or something?
Yeah, it was like right after.
Yeah.
It was right after. Because, of course, it was.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Magic Mountain things. Let's figure that out.
Yes, indeed. First weekend of March. Let's do it, y'all. We got something to look forward to through the off season. We're gonna make it through,
Hell yeah.
and we'll do some podcasts here.
Oh, also, we got to do a makeup for the November um, Patreon.
Yeah, we could try and do another one this month. I was on there. I know that's not a knock. You had stuff come up with the family. I made sure that I was on there to make sure we hung. It was a good time. Sean Flaherty was there.
Oh, nice.
Dana was on there. Ribs, Steen. Shouts to everyone who made it through that night. Tristan, Gabe.
Cool. I'm glad that worked out. I was thinking the time we didn't we do one over like New Year's?
Oh, Nathan. Yeah,
It was like COVID New Year's or something.
think so. I have no clue where I'm going to be for that or for Christmas.
Yeah, me neither. I probably wouldn't work out. I think that year was perfect for it though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, join our Discord. Let us know. We'll figure out plans for everything.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Yes, indeed. And I'll post those dates up there, and we'll get some chats going.
Cool.
So join up there. And shit, you got anything else, bud?
No, all good.
Right on. Glad we got one of these good long recordings without any actual substantive coaster talk. Maybe we can do that next time.
Or yeah, we'll do a guest and talk coasters.
That's a good idea. Danon reminded me he's due for a visit.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
All right, cool. Well, we'll line that up then.
Shall we do multiple guests? A panel?
We can try.
It's saying I've exceeded the free disk space to save local backups.
Uh-oh.
Recommend
Well, then,
you stop recording.
yeah,
Okay.
let's wrap this fucking thing up then. Thanks a ton for listening, everyone. We will be back soon, and until next time,
Your favorite coaster sucks.
sucks. Wow.